Hey guys, what's going on? This is Coach Nick coming at you this week with a video. So I've been getting a lot of questions from a lot of my athletes regarding supplements and stuff like that, and specifically I've been getting a lot of questions lately on caffeine. Caffeine's kind of one of those that have a lot of information, but it's hard to tell what's good information, what's bad. So I thought I would just put together a little infographic to hopefully kind of go over some of the pros and cons and see if it's something that you think is right for you. So just a little background information. Caffeine is considered a drug. It is a stimulant. With that being said, it's actually the most widely used drug in the entire world. In the United States alone, the great majority of caffeine intake is going to come from coffees, but other sources can be from soft drinks, teas, and stuff like that. There are some specific benefits and performance. So if you're an athlete that falls into any of these categories, it might be a good thing for you. Some specific benefits, and again, I just tried to find the most recent information and literature that's available. Feel free to put any of your own research into it or ask any more specific questions. But there are a lot of studies do say that caffeine supplementation can actually increase your metabolic rate. Your metabolic rate, for those of you that don't know, is basically the amount of calories your body needs to basically survive. So this is going to actually increase the amount of calories you typically burn, which if you're trying to improve body composition or anything like that is going to be a good thing. Some other benefits as far as some strength training goes are it's actually going to increase the number of repetitions to failure in the bench press. So it's got a little advantage for upper body there. It's also had some observed positive ergogenic effects and specifically like in strength and endurance as well. So specifically a 1 to 5 repetition increase may be observed in per set to failure, or a 1 to 3% increase in 1 rep strength. So there's a little couple of advantages there for strength training for both endurance and strength. And then also mean power output was increased during a 30-second Wingate test. So for any athletes that are more anaerobic, like basketball, rugby, football, sprinting, stuff like that, caffeine could definitely be a good thing for you. Some potential disadvantages most of us may have, some of us may have experienced, some not. Intakes too high can contribute to anxiety, restlessness, headaches, even insomnia in some cases. So these obviously can lead to decreased performance because if we're not sleeping and we're not resting, then we're not really going to recover. Thus, performance is probably going to be hindered. So just make sure you know what you're getting into. If you do supplement with it, everyone's going to react differently, so see how your body adjusts. Athletes who may benefit. So some of the athletes that are going to be the caffeine supplementation might be ideal for are going to be short-term, high-intensity strength power athletes. So rugby players, football, basketball players, Olympic lifting, plyometrics, anything involving like high explosive movements are going to be great. Also, middle distance to long distance endurance events. So typically events that would be like a long distance cycling or running or biking event that would be around 70 to 75% of their VO2 max, anywhere from 15 minutes to 2 hours. Can have a good impact on performance. This is mainly due because caffeine has been shown to use muscle glycogen sparingly and actually increase the amount of fat oxidation for fuel. So obviously when you're using fat as your primary fuel source, you're able to go further for longer. And then lastly, before getting into this, we definitely want to make sure you know whether or not you can take it based on NCAA guidelines. So caffeine, like I said before, is a stimulant, thus it is technically banned by the NCAA. However, it is a little confusing that guidelines do seem to allow for some use. So in order for a positive test to occur, caffeine supplementation of 15 micrograms or approximately 500 milligrams 2 to 3 hours before competition is considered to be illegal. So just keep that in mind. If it's something that you want to start doing as a supplement, it may be beneficial. So again, if you're an athlete, any that I mentioned, like a strength power athlete or maybe a middle to a long distance runner, it can definitely be beneficial for you. Just make sure that you are up to date with the most recent dosages and stuff like that. And please don't hesitate to reach out for me. If it's something you're not comfortable doing, by all means, don't feel obligated to do it. But just make sure you are as up to date on everything as you can be. Thanks for listening. Hope this helps, and reach out with any questions.